Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today we have Brandon.
Hello.
We're here to talk about games and things.
Games and things.
What's on the agenda tonight? Not too terribly much.
Yeah, I haven't typed in what I've played yet.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Okay. Well, I mean, I finished up the Pokemon DLC. That's kind of on my playlist. And then what else do we have? A little bit of news. Mia's leaving Platinum. UK grants preliminary approval for the Microsoft merger. Exciting. And maybe
there you go.
Maybe a strike.
Ooh. So, what kind of strike?
Voice actors.
Ooh.
Yeah. But we don't know yet. I'm not sure. But anyways, ready to get into it?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right. Well, I finished up Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, the DLC. I talked about it a bit last week, as you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I don't know. I don't really know if my opinion has changed on it since last week. I still think it's good. I think it's better DLC stuff than what they had for Sword and Shield, but it is kind of like short and abrupt, but it does definitely have a story that's going to overlap into whatever the next piece is for sure. Like the end of this is very abrupt. It was just kind of like you go to do a story event and they're like, we gotta go. And it was not you, I would say we gotta go, not you specifically, but other characters are just like, yep, we're leaving. We gotta go. Yeah. Peace out. God bless. Yeah, so then you're just kind of like, oh, okay, bye. I don't know. And it leaves like this, it leaves this like really kind of cryptic revenge hook cutscene for you for later.
Okay.
I don't know. Kind of weird. Not so compelling though. Like even though it ends on kind of a cliffhanger, not so compelling. It's like, oh my god, I can't wait until the next DLC. It's kind of like, okay, cool. I guess I don't know. I enjoyed my time with it though. I think, like I said last time, it's kind of like a nice little small snippet of what you got in the bigger game. I think the smaller focus here is a little nice. Although I didn't really think about it when I was playing last week. I did kind of see some comments about this. But, one thing that this DLC does lack that, the main game does have is kind of this storyline in this DLC is very linear. Like, there is no beating around the bush. Not kind of like, it's like you have to do XYZ in XYZ order, and there's no way around it. And I mean, you can go around and you can go explore, like, of course, like that's open. You can do whatever you want there. But to progress the story, you have to do it in like XYZ order. And, whatever.
Stupid. That sounds like they kind of, do you not really care that much?
I didn't really care. I mean, the story is what it is. This DLC, I think for most people is just kind of like, hey, I want to get some new Pokemon and I want to have a new world to explore. And, that's what you got. So there's that. You have a new Pokedex to go through. You have new raid quests to go through. So that stuff's all there, and that's fine and dandy. But, otherwise, it's just kind of like, oh, okay. Whatever. You get your new Pokemon, move on to the next thing. And that's what I did. Although I think I still have, like, there is one new regional Pokemon I have not gotten yet in this DLC. I saved in the area where it's at, and it's not terribly hard to get. But, yeah, so, but I don't know. One thing I did enjoy, and I think I talked about it last week, was I sent all my old Pokemon to Pokemon Home. And so I started off with a brand new team with this one. And I think that was fun. Just kind of not starting with like super high level overpowered stuff. Just kind of fucking around with stuff that's, either stuff that was leftovers that I didn't send back to home because it was like duplicates, and so obviously not over leveled because it's just kind of where I caught it and left it, or stuff that was just caught in the DLC and then used. I thought that was fun. Just kind of, have like new variety. Like I used one of the new regional Pokemon from the DLC. I used one of the new Pokemon from the DLC. I had a mix of things from the crater area from Pokemon Violet, in Paldea. I used some of those Pokemon. So it was kind of a nice mix of like, new Pokemon, old Pokemon, but all of it was new to this gen. I didn't use anything that was like older. So
I see.
I don't know. It was just kind of nice. I don't know. It's fun. I mean, if you like Pokemon, you'll like this. If you like Pokemon, you're going to get it anyways because of the new Pokemon. I don't know, mileage will vary, I suppose. But I would say story-wise, at least it was like, I mean, not groundbreaking, but it was at least interesting enough. Even though the hook at the end was kind of like
Nothing.
yeah, no. It's very like angsty teenager. I don't know how to describe it otherwise. It just very
I don't understand what you're even trying to say there.
yeah. It's, well, you know how teenagers can be kind of like angsty and angry, and make something out of nothing.
Done, and then that was essentially what the game did.
That's basically what happened. It was just very weird. It was kind of like, oh, I'm angry, and then it's just like, and it's like revenge, and then you're like, oh, okay.
Wow. Okay, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. So no, don't know, and it's all kind of their own players doing. So I don't know. They're really not angry about anything. That's legitimate. I don't know. Yeah, we'll find out. You'll find out if you ever play it.
I mean, I want to, but I just can't right now.
They are doing, and they just announced today. Actually, they are releasing the DLC as a physical copy.
I saw that, but it's probably comes with a code, right? It's not built for the cart.
Interestingly, the cartridge includes the Teal Mask Part 1, but not Part 2. So that's downloadable later.
That's dumb.
It's weird. I don't know. A lot of people, I guess there's a lot of speculation that are like, hey, then that means that's probably when the next set of DLC comes out. I think that's optimistic. I think it's more they just want to have this out and they don't know when it's coming out. I would be really surprised if Pokemon dropped the next DLC 2 months after the first one. But who knows?
What's that?
Huh?
Didn't they announce that recently? That they were?
They announced that it was coming out in winter. Winter's so vague. So winter's pretty much any time from December to March. So I think November is even optimistic. Could it? Yeah, it could. I don't think so. I think we'll see it early next year. That's
okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. I was thinking like February, probably.
Yeah, and I think they, and especially too, because it keeps that kind of dialogue open about this game for longer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, we're going to bring people back, bring their attention span back to Pokemon. So, and I'm sure they will. They always do with like new Pokemon and new events and things like that. So,
yeah.
It seemed like a lot of people were really excited about the Mew and the Mewtwo event that they had going on. So,
that seemed like something that got people back in when nothing else was.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm interested to see what they end up doing. Whether or not they have new, maybe they'll do like a new legendary for this game. Because I don't think they've done a legendary for this game yet. I don't think I'm crazy. Yeah, no, they've not. So, they did those kind of like we talked about last time, those kind of exclusive like terror raids where you can get a Pokemon that you can't catch in the game otherwise. With that kind of updated Suicune and I don't remember the other Pokemon's name. And then they announced the next set of them. So presumably they'll either be catchable in the last part of the DLC or there'll be like another kind of event that they do. But yeah, no. It's always a good time with Pokemon and new exciting stuff. I always get excited about it. So kind of makes me want to go through and play. So one of the quests, one of the side quests in this game is very, very, very definitely Pokemon Arceus like focused. It's built off of that. So much so that it even plays like battle music from Pokemon Arceus.
Oh, okay.
It really was like got me want to play it again. And then I was like, oh, I should. And then I was like, I don't have time for this right now. But I don't know. I could keep on getting this. Like I keep on saying I want to play a 2D Metroid, and I keep on holding out for them to put up. I really want to play Zero Mission, and I really feel like playing on my Switch, even though my GameCube's hooked up and it takes nothing for me to like actually play. I think it's literally the game in my GameCube. Like I just have to turn it on, but I just really kind of want it on the Switch on the online service. But no, they announced Kirby Dream Land this month, so not coming yet. But that's it. That's all I've been playing. I don't think I have anything else on that front of things.
Okay, I can give you some. I can give you some things, right?
Yeah. What do you got going?
So, I'll first talk about the newest game.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the lucky few that got to play Payday 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I say lucky few, I mean because the servers went down, and once the servers went down, they never came back up.
Oh jeez.
And you have to be connected to the server even to start the game.
Oh jeez.
So, many people paid about $90 60-40 for a game they haven't even been able to play since launch.
How long has it been out?
4 days.
It's been down that long?
Yes, it has.
That's catastrophic failure. That's not a launch.
Yes, it is.
That is not a launch. How
So,
do you mess up something so significantly?
So it launched. I'll tell you the date that it launched exactly. They might have already removed it from Steam. I'm not actually sure. Let me see. Payday 3 launched. Wait, hold on. We got actually news for it. Payday 3's launch has gone so badly that Starbreeze says it's now looking at the possibility of some sort of offline mode for the game.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Basically, the matchmaking errors have been going on since launch. I've gotten lucky because I'm up at fuck all o'clock, so some of the times when people aren't online, I'm able to get in a few games, which I was on Saturday, late Saturday night. Basically, the game has been completely unplayable because you have to be connected to their server in order to play it. So, yeah. Oh, apparently 11 hours ago, they took the entire game offline officially as they worked to try to get the servers back. And also to make it less dependent on online modes.
Yeah, it seems like that was a mistake.
Yeah.
I would agree. That seems like something they should fix.
I can actually tell you the release date, or what was supposed to be release date. 9/21 of 2023 is when this game launched.
Okay, so it's been almost a week.
Yeah, almost a whole week of people not being able to play.
Yep, that's a big mistake.
Yes, and it's also on Game Pass. So
are they having the same problems on the other side?
They're having it everywhere. Okay. There's nowhere you can play the game. You can't play it on Epic Games. You can't play it on Steam. You can't play it on Xbox. I got a few hours worth of games in. I want to say like 4, but if you give me a moment or so, I can give you like an actual estimate. I will say this game it should not be sold in its current state. It just should not be sold in its current state. That's just the long and short of the game, more or less, right?
Yeah.
But what I have been able to play of the game is incredibly fun. Really good. It's just, boy howdy, is it hard to play the game when they don't let me because of their stupid fucking online always system that doesn't even work. 5 hours and 34 minutes. That's how long I've played. And I promise you, a lot of that online was us being like, I got dropped from the game again. Can you send me another invite? Okay, let's see if they'll let us start the match. Nope, I got the matchmaking error. Yeah, you got it also. Okay, all right, let's give it another try. Give it 5 minutes. All right, you start the room now. You do it instead. All right, pick a different stage. Yeah, we'll do that stage instead. Okay, all right, now you wait until we get the other players in. Okay, we've got the other players in now. All right, give it a minute. Okay, now launch. Okay, cool. All right, it's actually launching. And then we got into like one game. But it was that kind of shit. That kind of fandangling to get into any game within 5 hours and 34 minutes which is how long I played the game.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, very good though. If this game ever works, it's a really good game. And it's such a shame that it's very like their servers are so fucked. It's such a shame because it's actually a very fun game to play with friends. We did one heist completely stealth based where they stole the key cards from people and broke in and captured a guy and forced him to use his retinas to open up the vault and then captured all the money that way and then got out the back of the thing and dropped all our money off into a van and escaped, and it was really cool. It was really fun. There's some super interesting ideas in this game. And then it just doesn't work because they are always online with the game. And if it wasn't an always online game, it would be a very fun game to play with friends. So if it ever gets fixed, I do think it will be really fun because I've already had enjoyment with the game and I pushed myself to have that enjoyment because I kept enjoying when I could play the game, but they were so fucking stupid with the way they chose to make every aspect of it online only that it really sucks that they ended up going that route. So yep, there's that.
Yeah,
that's what happened. So 5 days and now they've actually shut down all the servers as they attempt to make an offline mode. So yeah, game technically didn't even launch, at that point.
No, really. Yeah. No, you botched it. And that's going to be a tough one to come back from.
Oh yeah.
So, because by the time the excitement of the launch has already passed.
Yep.
Everyone's probably like, nope, don't care about this game anymore, and it might be able to claw people back eventually, but damage has been done.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and like the worst thing is, like, for instance, they had people that were doing like charity streams involving the game. They had to go and play the older game because they couldn't get the new one to run because the servers were so broken. So how are you going to advertise the game and also do a charity stream involving the game officially if you can't play the fucking game?
Spoiler alert, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened.
That's a mess.
Yeah.
Hot mess.
Let's move on to something that I don't think is a hot mess anymore.
Okay.
Not gonna revisionary history like some people are doing, because there are some people on Twitter that are like, "Oh, this game was never bad. People just like to complain for stupid reasons." And no, Cyberpunk was bad when it launched. It was very bad when it launched.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2.0 is so fucking good. They have completely redone the skill tree. They have completely redone the way your movement system, armor system, gameplay, everything about the game works. I've taken a deep dive into this game now. I've played it on the highest settings possible on PC, which is basically the melt my graphics card settings, and I can run it really, really well. I have enjoyed my time exploring the new additions to the game, the new police system, the new all of this stuff, and I've probably put like 10 hours into the game in like a week now, and that's both on PC and on PS5, because I played it on both to see, hey, does it translate well to console also? And yes it does. Yeah, I guess I just want to say that Cyberpunk is kind of having its No Man's Sky moment at the moment. Yeah. Nowhere near as much as No Man's Sky, right? But it is definitely in a state that I think they probably wanted this game to be in at launch now. So if you liked the idea of Cyberpunk, but you just kind of were like, yeah, this game's a fucking broken mess, and you have a next-gen console, or current-gen console, PS5, Xbox Series X, or S, you should probably play Cyberpunk now, because it's really good. So, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it.
New DLC came out today. I have not played it yet because I want to go through the entirety of the game now that I possibly, can. So that's where I'm at the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Go see what all the things. I like to do that when they kind of on games where they release updates. Be like, oh, let me see what the kind of full game is now.
Well, this update is so big that literally they scrapped the entire skill system that they had before and completely reworked it from scratch. Added new mechanics entirely, added new moves, added new police system. They did everything differently now. Like, it is a completely different game essentially at this point. Like, obviously not a different story unless you count the new DLC, but like the way you actually play this game is day and night from like the way it was at launch. They've fundamentally changed this game entirely. So that's really cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
And yeah, that's pretty much me for the week. That is what I played, other than CS2, which I guess CS2 update. They're launching it tomorrow.
Oh, like the real launch day?
Yeah, like the real launch is tomorrow, and I don't know how I feel about that.
So I don't know. Last time we talked about it, you were much happier. Are you going back the other way again?
No. I'm still much happier. I do think that the servers need a little bit of work, but But overall, I am very happy with where the game is right now. But they definitely need to kind of fine tune their servers more or less, because sometimes hit reg doesn't feel right at all. I sometimes feel like that shot should have landed, and like I've literally had people on my team be like, "How did you not hit that man?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I literally see my bullet hole behind his back. How did he not die?" So there have been some moments where we have elements like that come up, basically, but they're few and far between, and they have been getting better. So I expect that if they do one big old patch tomorrow before the launch, then they'll probably have things mostly smoothed out. So there you go. That's me. That's what I did. Oh, shit! No, hold on. Oh, I got to tell you one more thing. I played this Sherlock Holmes game.
What
with
Sherlock Holmes
Katie.
game?
Oh my god, this game's really good. Okay, so it's called Sherlock Holmes and the Awakened. It is really good. It is an H.P. Lovecraft / Cthulhu story taking place in Sherlock Holmes universe. It is so good.
So what type of game is it?
It essentially is like a third-person adventure game where you can actually go into this thing called your Mind Palace. And your Mind Palace, you can see in your head like different things that you've taken from different people you've spoken to, and you can formulate what you think the crime scene was. And you have like different options of what you think the crime scene was, and you're able to like put those pieces together essentially. And after you've put those pieces together, you then have like a thing where you can more or less interrogate the person. So say for instance someone like Jack Shelby, I'm going to use a random name, and you've spoken to this one witness and they said Jack Shelby had a glass eye, and you talk to this guy who claims that he's Jack Shelby but he has no glass eye. So then you can interrogate him based off the information you've gotten from the other witnesses and be like, hey, and you like pin the comment that someone said to you earlier, and you like say, hey, this person said that Jack Shelby had a glass eye, and you're saying you're Jack Shelby but you don't have a glass eye. Or you told me that you work for this company, but this company doesn't make this amount of money, but you have a solid gold pocket watch that I have noticed on your person. So what is going on? You're not who I think you are, and you're not who you say you are. So who are you? And you can like use those things to like kind of break apart people's lies and interrogate them, similar to something like LA Noire. But like it goes a lot more in depth, I think, in this game. Obviously, it doesn't do like the whole like crazy mocap of faces and that sort of thing. But the way you break apart each individual case and recreate it and look at all the individual clues and even look at the different parts of the clues to find out what this item could have been used for at the crime scene, it's really interesting. So it's like a puzzle game, a third-person adventure game. It's not really an action game because at least from the 7 hours I've played, there's no combat to say. It's more like a walk around the scene of the crime, try to figure out what happened, talk to the people that are around you, try to solve these like sort of mystery things. And it's super interesting because it doesn't start out like supernatural. It like slowly gets there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if it actually is supernatural because there's a whole narcotics thing going on also. So it could be the supernatural elements are in your head, but we don't really know. But the game is so different from anything that I've played like ever, and it's so interesting the way that it's designed. And I really don't think there's any kind of game otherwise that's made like this, where you can go this in depth with the crime scenes and the investigations, and you know, talking with people and doing this, that, and the other, and just breaking down each person's like line of dialogue and following the clues from one strand to another and attempting to connect everything together to create a case and to solve said case. It's a super interesting game. This was a game that Katie wanted to play, and our anniversary was yesterday, so we ended up getting it, and we sat down and played through some of it. And it was really cool, like really good. And at times you even play as like Watson also. And then like Watson has like a different point of view because he doesn't have the same, you know, train of thought as Sherlock Holmes. So like when you're playing as Watson, you're more reserved, but you're more like logically thinking through things when you're playing as him, as opposed to Sherlock, who will just jump to conclusions immediately, because that's just kind of what Sherlock does in general. Yeah. And it's a very interesting game. I apparently they've made a lot of these, but this is one of their best ones, and this one is so cool that yeah, I'm going to be playing more of this later on because it is really interesting and very different from like anything else I've played, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it looks really cool. That's a neat idea, actually. I think that, you know, this is definitely, you know, we talk about, well, we're not really talked about, but, you know, games that leave, or not games, words what I'm looking for. Copyrights that leave, you know, and go into like the public realm, like Sherlock Holmes has. And I think Sherlock Holmes is finally maybe fully in the public realm. I know, not that long ago.
To say this came out this year. This came out like a few months ago. Like this is brand new.
Well, no. Sherlock Holmes is kind of weird because, well, and copyright law is too, because it depends on like the works of the title. So Sherlock Holmes for a while was in kind of this weird thing where it was like, a lot of the earlier works were in the public domain. So, you could do things based on Sherlock Holmes, which is why we got TV shows called Sherlock. But then there was things like his last couple books were not out of the public domain yet. So there was the family, or the owners of I think it was family, but the owners of the remaining copyrights would go around and sue people, be like, oh, you use this obscure detail about Sherlock Holmes that wasn't discussed until the last book. So, we're claiming copyright on this.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I think the last kind of pieces of that have finally gone into the public domain. So I think he's fully there now. But yeah, no, I think it's really cool. It'll be really interesting. I don't think any of us will be around when that time happens. But when classic video games start to enter.
I love this game, to be completely honest. I do think you would really enjoy this game. If there was anything to recommend you check out, other than what I've already told you to, essentially, it would be this. This was a total came out of nowhere, because Katie was interested in it because she saw it on YouTube and she's like, oh, it looks neat. And then I wasn't fully on board because I was like, okay, this is probably going to be super easy, but it's not. It's very complicated. You got to find the right series of things and go down the right train of thought. So you actually have to think. There's a lot of thinking involved in this game. So you have to take moments to look at your clues and actually look over each little detail that's in it, and then pin that to your question board so that when you speak to someone, you can ask that specific series of clues to them. And sometimes that will unlock different lines of dialogue based on who you're talking to about it. And you have to figure out what person you need to talk to unlock to actually do anything with these clues that you've found from other people. And it's a very, very interesting concept. It's very difficult, though. There was one puzzle that we got stuck on for an hour. We could not figure out what was going on. And yeah, I actually had to look that one up on YouTube just to get a hint on where to go, what way to go. And then when I got the hint, I was like, I don't think I would have put those two things together. So it has a little bit of that thing where it's kind of like LucasArts adventure games, where it's oh wow, okay, that's interesting. I would have never thought of using it that way, but that makes sense, and that kind of happens here. And it really took me back to those old days of those adventure titles that were for PC, Maniac Mansion and
Manic Mansion.
Yeah, Manic Mansion and Escape from Monkey Island and stuff like that. It really took me back to those kind of days. But it at least had more sense to it than some of those puzzles did. But it still was difficult. It was the kind of more difficult than anything I've really played in modern gaming when it comes to actually thinking how this thing works with this other thing. And it was cool. It's a really cool game. So,
fun fact, it's actually a remake of a game from 2007.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's incredible. It's really good.
Yeah, it's also on everything too. I just found out. So
nice.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'm adding it to my wish list as we speak.
Awesome.
If I can figure out how to log into my thing. There it is. Yeah, no, that's really cool.
Playing it on Xbox, I'll tell you, it is rock solid on Xbox. So, yeah, I know you have a Series X, so that would probably be your best place to play it.
Okay, good enough. It's not on Game Pass, though, is it?
No. We paid for the premium edition.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, it comes with a bunch of different outfits that you can wear, and they're actually really cool. So,
is that what the DLC is?
I think so. I'd have to double check, but Katie was like, "I really want the main big edition, that sort of thing." I think it was a side quest pack also.
So, yeah, that's what this is. DLC includes the following quests: the Whispering
Dreams.
Yes, Whispered Dreams.
Detective's Wardrobe.
Yeah, it had 6 additional cases.
Yep.
Haunted House, The Other Gods, Dreams of the Children, Silvertide, Frogs on the Walls, The Doom Folk, and it includes looks like 6 different
Outfits.
cosmetic things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Very cool.
I highly recommend it.
I
actually really want to finish this because I do think this is so interesting that it is something that would be like one of my favorite games from this year. So it's so different. Like it is not like anything I have really played before, and I really am happy about that because there's so many copy and paste, especially adventure games. Think of like your Telltale's games, and it's like or something made by what is it? Is it David Cage? Is that his name?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's so different from those kind of games. Like, there's much more to it. Where it's not like really a fail state where it's like, oh, you're gonna die, or oh, you're gonna have to go back to another checkpoint. It's not that, but the actual solutions and figuring out how to get further in the story isn't spelled out for you, and you have to actually think about it. Whereas I feel like David Cage games and Telltale games are just like, choose option 1, choose option 2. All right, continue. And that's it. There's a lot more to it here.
Okay. Yeah. Interestingly, this game is, I'm looking at the Switch one right now, but it's strange. Like the standard edition is not on sale, but the digital edition is.
Interesting.
Sorry, well, actually, the digital deluxe edition is. I didn't clarify. So, like, the one that comes with the extra DLC is actually, like, cheaper than the standard version of the game.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I'll have to check it out. It might be, like I said, I'm going on a trip in, like, 2 weeks, so it might be a good, like, trip game.
I think you would really love this. It seems like something that'd be right up your alley.
I think so.
I didn't think it was going to be up mine, but, like, I was getting hooked into it. I really want to play more of it right now, so...
Yeah. No, it sounds... Like I said, it does sound like it's right up my alley. It's definitely the kind of thing that I like. So, it looks like it's gotten... I'm not, like, super looking at the reviews, but just kind of a quick glance, it looks like it's pretty favorable, at least.
Yeah, it seems to have favorable reviews from everywhere I've looked. It's not like, oh my god, overwhelmingly positive or anything like that, but it's like, it's certainly better than quite a few games that release this year.
Yeah.
There's several obvious outliers, but like, yep. It's recorded better than Starfield.
And it's so strange, because, I think it's kind of funny, because it's definitely like, hey, this is an obscure adventure game from 20 years ago, and we're going to re-release it. And, I don't know, it just seems like it's, right, maybe more right time and place than it used to be.
Apparently, these developers are the ones that made the game 20 years ago also. Same developers.
Good for them. Hey, maybe this will be the push they need to get further into it.
Just in general, I do think this is an excellent game that should be checked out. It's, like I said, it's very different from anything else that I've played in a very long time, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, they've done 3 of these Sherlock Holmes games, too.
They have, yeah. I actually own one of their other games, and I did not know it was made by them. I've never played it, though, so yeah, this is my first one that I've played. I own Crimes and Punishment, which was in 2014.
Okay.
But, yeah, I think that was given away on Xbox Live Gold at some point.
Apparently, it's also on pretty much everything. Well, I guess not the current gen systems, the past gen systems, but, I guess that means it's still good for Xbox, probably.
Yeah.
Not PlayStation 5. But they're on the Switch, too.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, no, let's check it out. So
there you go. There's something for you to play.
Yeah, and it might be, though, well, not directly, but indirectly, about something I've been meaning to ask you about for a couple weeks.
Yeah, what's up?
I keep forgetting. I was just curious if you ended up watching that new One Piece show.
I've only seen the first 2 episodes, and you know what? It's actually very good.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Yep.
Obviously, it's not, up my alley, but I was like, this seems like a Brandon thing, and I feel like I need to ask you.
So here's the thing. I don't like talking about One Piece because the fan base for One Piece are fucking garbage.
Worse than Naruto?
Oh yeah, way worse. They're close to like My Hero Academia levels of awful. But anyway, doesn't matter. The show is very good. It always has been very good. My issue is it's so fucking long that I can't just sit down and watch all of it. I lose attention. My attention span doesn't stick. But I have seen about 200 or 300 episodes.
And
that's like a drop in the pan compared to how many episodes there actually are of the show. That's like literally a drop in the pan. To give you an example, how many episodes of One Piece? There are currently 1,075 episodes of that show.
Okay.
I have seen the first 300. I have seen the the special event episode that happened a few weeks back, just because I wanted to see it. I wanted to see where the show had gotten to, what place it was at. Yes, I skipped a lot. I don't give a fuck. I'll watch it at some point. Whatever. I don't care. But anyway, yeah, so I've seen like 352 episodes or some shit like that. It's good. Everything I've seen of it is very good. It's very well done. And then the live action, the first 2 episodes is like 8 or 9 episodes in the original anime, and just the first 2 episodes. And it's condensed so much so that, like, yeah, there's some details left out, but in general, it's not done poorly. Like, it's actually kind of a more condensed form of One Piece that works really well as a live action and is actually pretty entertaining. So yeah, good job on them.
Good. Yeah, no, I heard it was good things. They said what I've heard was basically one of the best live action adaptations of anime.
Everyone who says that's never seen Rurouni Kenshin, but that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So there's a live action movie that was released by WB, cut up into 5 parts, 2 hours apiece, of Rurouni Kenshin, Samurai X, as it's known, and it's incredible. Even if you don't know that it's an anime, it's an incredible samurai story that's really good and definitely worth watching. So if you're a fan of the original anime, they're awesome. If you're not a fan of the original anime, cool samurai movies. So there you go.
All right. Do we move on to news?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, we've already teased all the news. So, SAG-AFTRA voting for a strike. So, they're not currently striking.
Uh-huh.
And this vote does not mean that they will strike, but they're currently renegotiating, their contracts with studios and whatnot. And so this basically is them kind of giving notice that, if the negotiations don't make reasonable terms, then they have that bargaining chip of they can strike immediately. They don't have to send it back to
Okay.
go. So that's really what it's pointed to. I don't know if they spoke to anything in particular, but obviously when we talked about Bayonetta last year, Bayonetta 3, and all the stuff that's going on with the voice actor there, there was a lot of issues that were brought up, around people about talking about issues that the voice actors kind of have, in terms of safety and wages and things like that. So it makes sense that they would want to renegotiate things, especially considering on the Hollywood side of things, the writers and the actors are all doing so as well. So get terms that are more reasonable for the work that they do. So let's see, their contracts expire in November. So oh wait. So no, actually, oh yeah, no, it does say, yeah, they expire in November. So yeah, so we should know soon.
Okay then. Interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening. So, all right, what other news we got? Kamiya's leaving Platinum.
That's a thing.
Yeah, October 12th. Did not give a reason.
Nope.
And not really any, as far as I've seen, no speculation as to why. Although, kind of flashback to, I think it was last year as well, with Bayonetta 3, and we're like, why does this man still have a job? Yeah. Just because some of the insane things that he does, like on Twitter and his public persona, and, maybe some things, that he does elsewhere, we just, it's kind of surprising that, he's still there. Yeah, so I mean, who knows what he left or what he's doing? He said he's going to keep doing, things in his Kamiya way.
Of course.
But who knows? Who knows?
Blocking people and being a general piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I'm sure he has something planned, whatever it may be. I mean, this seems like it's, not so abrupt that this was not, mutually just decided on a decision. Although, how much mutual decision making was made, who knows? But At least they, the game basically like 3 weeks or whatever to kind of sort things out. So you assume that if it was something more abrupt, you would have just been like, I'm out.
Yep.
So, yeah. Be interested to see what he ends up doing. Obviously, he's
back
well
to
known.
Kickstarter probably.
I don't know. Wonderful 101 just finally had that kind of. I don't even know if they're done with their shit yet. It's been so long.
What if they just finished the Wonderful 101 thing, but since he partnered with Platinum originally for the Wonderful 101 thing, that's why he's like, all right, it's done. Peace. And he left once their deal was up.
They did finally put out, and I don't think I actually ended up talking about it. I played a little bit of it. They did finally put out those kind of like extra levels, like the Wonderful One, I think is what it's called, where you get to play as the one kid with where he's kind of like training to become one of the Wonderful 101. I played like I think 3 stages of it. It was kind of confusing. It was kind of like weird because it didn't tell me how to play right away, and I was very confused. So I'm like kind of it's side scrolling and kind of like jumping around. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, I know I'm supposed to attack things. I couldn't figure out why. And then finally I realized it was one of those games where it's kind of like it's a platformer, but you use the right stick to kind of shoot lasers or whatever. So then I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. But I really just wasn't a big fan of it. I don't know. It wasn't horrible. I didn't love it. Like the stages were way too long for what I wanted. If that makes any sense. Although that was also kind of one of my issues with Wonderful 101 in the first place. Like those stages always felt way too long. So it's weird that they kind of carried that over into a side-scrolling bonus level. I don't know. I would have just rather they had, a bunch of shorter levels than kind of these like really long levels that kind of capped off with, boss battles. But whatever. That is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
I did have one other piece of news I just thought of because I don't think you saw it. Swery, the person that made Deadly Premonition and Deadly Premonition 2, as well as D4, as well as my favorite developer of all time, Suda51, announced a game over the weekend that they're making together. It's called Hotel Barcelona. It seems to be like a action adventure, like 2.5D platformer, whatever sort of thing. But the concept of it's interesting. It takes place in a hotel where all the serial killers from all over the world live, essentially.
Okay.
It looks wacky and weird and exactly like something I would want from a Swery and Suda51 game. So I'm like super excited for that. I think it was announced at the Xbox showcase for Tokyo Game Show.
That is correct.
And it seems to have some kind of like looping mechanics, so possibly it's like a roguelike or whatever. So, yeah. Looks really neat. Very interesting and fucking weird. But with those two together, of course it's going to be.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull up a trailer on it fast. See. But I made a poor choice of where to watch it, so it's going to take a second.
Where are you watching it?
IGN.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of Dead Cells.
Okay. I mean, it also kind of gives me a Travis Strikes Again vibe, too.
But yeah, that looks really cool, and I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Just wanted to share that.
Yeah, did not know. Speaking of Microsoft, though, that's where our last piece of news is. So the UK has preliminarily approved the Microsoft Activision merger. So seems like this is a done deal unless something wild happens in the next couple weeks. So, yeah. So Activision and Microsoft are going to be one and the same in the near future. Also, kind of, apparently, there was a rumor that popped up, too, that, Microsoft might actually be giving away some Call of Duty as part of Game Pass anyways. So, I guess someone went to go purchase, I think it was Black Ops 2. And they got a message that was like, are you sure you want to purchase this? It's part of Game Pass or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they're like, what? I don't think it is. And it wasn't, but it gave a message about it. So, I don't know. I didn't look more into the story, so it could be a bunch of bullshit. But also wouldn't surprise me either if they were like, yeah, we're doing this. So, don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, that's it. But that's all the news that I got. You got anything else?
I would decide to look it up. Yeah, they went to purchase Black Ops 2, and it basically said, yeah, same for Call of Duty Ghost.
Oh.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any other news. I think we're good here with this one.
All right. We'll wrap it up then.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to us tonight. Don't forget to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll check out our website, game-crunch.com, where you can find all of our old episodes. If you want to reach out to us, we're on Facebook, or you can send us an email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon.
Hello.
Any final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, that's it. My name is Mike Anastasia. Find me online. I'm Clash Penguin. There or on your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Game's on. That means I can actually move my fan closer to me then, because I am burning up in this bitch.
I don't know how it's like freezing up here in the north.
What degrees is it right there for you?
I don't know. I think it was 60 today, which is.
I am 89 right now.
Yeah, it's 64 right now,
and that's outside. Oh wait, no, 80 outside. However, this room has no air conditioning unit or access to vents or windows.
Gross.
So, and I'm sitting next to a PS5, an Xbox Series X, and a fucking gaming PC. So that also puts off more heat. So I'm probably like 102 degrees in this fucking room.